Does the idea of flying make you super anxious? We're going to talk about how to survive flying. Stay tuned. That's what's up next. Hi, my name's Natasha Daniels. I'm a child therapist and I make videos for kids with anxiety and OCD. Today I want to talk to you about the fear of flying because it is such a common fear, not only with kids, but with adults. People get really freaked out about flying and they don't have to. And so I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to get to the next place that you want to go and to get on that plane to do it. The first step we want to work on are your thoughts. Because if your thoughts are all doom and gloom, your heart's going to start to pound, you're going to start feeling sweaty, you might even get nauseous, and it's not going to work out for you. And so we want to work with how you're viewing things first. A lot of times people move just into distraction. Get your mind off of it, don't focus on it. And we're going to get to that because that's actually a really good thing to do. But if you don't work on your thoughts first, it's not going to help. So I did do a whole YouTube video on working on your thoughts. And if you haven't watched it, watch this one after this, and that will definitely help you as well. So the first thing you want to do is ask yourself, what are my red thoughts? What are my worry thoughts? I talked about red thoughts in the other video. What am I anxious about? Now, actually, it might be different for different people because you might be saying, well, isn't it obvious? I'm flying. That's scary. Yeah, but I've been doing this long enough that when I ask kids, what are you nervous about when flying? I often get different answers about different things. So you want to tap into what are you the most nervous about? And then you want to start debating with that worry, arguing with that worry, fighting back with that worry. Also, I always ask myself when I'm having a fear, is this something I can control? Do my worries serve any purpose whatsoever? And now sometimes the answer is yes. I can do something different and I can change the way something can happen because of my worries. And so I'm like, yeah, I could do something. But when you're flying, most of us worry about our safety. There are people who worry about other things, but most of us are worried about that. Do you have any control when you're flying? And then you might be like, no, Natasha, that's exactly the problem. Well, you know what? You don't have a lot of control in a lot of things that you're doing. And when you don't have control over what is going to happen or how it's going to happen, then I let it go. I say to myself, can I do anything about this? No. Do I have any control over what will happen? No. Is the likelihood that something bad will happen? No. Then I'm going to let it go. Now I know that's easier said than done, but that's an important way to think about your worries. And so when it comes to flying, if you're worried about your safety, which is probably about 80% of you, maybe a little bit higher, you have no control over that. The likelihood of something bad happening is so tiny that it's not worth worrying about, and you have no control. And the biggest thing about beating anxiety is letting go of control, knowing when you have it and knowing when you don't. So your job when flying is to lay back, relax, and let go of all control. Easier said than done, but it's actually a good way to live life as well. So now we're going to move into distraction. You better arm yourself up with things that will take your brain away and calm you down. So be prepared. Make flying a very fun experience. Now I know you might be saying, fun experience with flying? Are you crazy? I'll tell you honestly, I used to hate flying. I hated flying so much that it was a very big deal. But now I love flying because I make it this incredibly enjoyable experience. I download movies that I have been wanting to watch. I download Audible stories that I want to be listening to. I pack really delicious snacks that I'm going to eat the entire time. And I put them in little baggies, little chocolates, little treats. And I do it on purpose. And I do it for my kids as well because I want flying to be a really fun experience. And so with my kids, they'll pack little backpacks and we'll put little baggies of really fun food. And we'll put toys in there. We'll put video games. We'll put iPad movies. Sometimes I'll bring like little gel clinger things that you can actually put to the windows of the airplane and you can like make little designs. I'll do that because they're young, but you want to come up with ideas that will make flying a really good experience. Don't just go on the plane and have no entertainment, because the key to having a successful flight is in the enjoyment. So even if you are deathly scared of flying, I want you to start thinking about, how can I make this the most enjoyable experience of my life? Or at least for the hour. Also, there's 2 other points. What seat is best for you? So if you get a choice in where you sit, you might want to think about that. Do you like the window where you can look outside? Or is that like the worst thing for you? Do you not want to look outside? Do you want to be in the aisle where you can get to the bathroom really quick? So think about that before you get on the plane, and then tell your parents, I really need a window seat to feel relaxed, or I really need an aisle seat to feel relaxed. And that way, if it's possible, they can make sure that you're sitting in a seat that is going to be the best for you. Lastly, if you're worried about getting motion sickness, or you're worried about flying because of turbulence, ask your parents about taking something like a motion sickness pill, because there are chewable motion sickness pills, and there's ones that are really tiny that you can swallow, that will really help with that. When I was a kid, I could not travel without taking motion sickness pills, and it made all the difference in the world. And also, as a side note, when you take a motion sickness pill like Bonine, it has a calming component. So I do work with a lot of kids who will take one, even if they're not worried about getting motion sickness, because it calms them down. It makes you tired and it makes you relaxed. So that's another option, and you can talk to your parents about that. The important thing is to not avoid, because anxiety loves avoidance. And when we don't do things because anxiety tells us not to do it, it grows bigger and it becomes more of a bully in our lives. If you are afraid to fly and you don't get on airplanes, you are limiting your enjoyment. You are cutting off so much of the world because you can't drive everywhere. And you're robbing yourself of time, because even if you got older and you drove everywhere, it's going to take so long. So learning how to fight your fears with flying and all the other fears that you have are so important. And you're going to feel so brave and empowered when you get on a plane, you make it at least somewhat enjoyable, and you get to your destination. You get to the other place that you really want to go. So remember, change your thoughts, that will change your feelings. Stack the deck in your favor and bring lots of fun things to do and to eat. And talk to your parents about something for motion sickness, because side note, that helps you calm down too. And think about where you're going to sit. I hope you found these tips helpful, and I will talk to you next Thursday. Take care.
When I first discovered Natasha, I was in a desperate place with my son, and his anxiety was getting worse, and we had tried counseling and it was not going well.
We were told at that point, we can't help your son. Early intervention is great. He's too young.
Parenting a child with anxiety is not easy, and sometimes it feels hopeless.
First time we took her to a therapist, who then dismissed her after about a year and a half, putting it down to bad parenting.
But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if you could join a community with parents in the same boat, with kids with similar struggles and issues? What if you could have access to resources that will help you with behavior and sleep and avoidance and opposition and fears? What if you can have somebody walk with you on your journey? Someone with clinical expertise and parental knowledge. Hi, my name is Natasha Daniels, and I'm a child therapist and a mom to 3 kids. And I've dedicated my life and my career to helping kids with anxiety and OCD, including my own. And now I want to help you too. I have created the AT parenting community to do just that. When you join as a member of the community, not only will you get access to resources that will help you with your child's struggles and help your family reduce the chaos in their home, you're going to be joining a community of parents just like you, with knowledge, love, and support to give. You will get access to online classes that will help your child and your child's struggles. You'll also get bonus videos and podcast material made just for members. And I've got your kids covered too. You'll have access to a library full of worksheets and videos specially designed for your kids by myself and other therapists. But that's not the best part. You're going to be getting direct attention from me, and I will be giving you support in many different ways. I'll be doing Facebook Lives every single week in our private Facebook group, where members can go to talk and get support. I'll also be doing office hours in our private Facebook group. So once a week, you can ask me whatever you want. I'll be available for an hour to answer your direct questions. But if you need a little bit more support, I've got you covered too, because I will be doing coaching calls for those that need it twice a month. And for those that need even more support, I'll be doing once a month support group calls. And I'll be doing a member spotlight call. So I'll be picking one member every month, and I'll be walking them through the process of helping their children. And you'll have access to the replay and to that phone call as well. Raising a child with anxiety or OCD is hard, but together we can get through it.
Natasha gave us practical tools. She wasn't like the books that we had read.
If you have a child with anxiety or OCD, she is your go-to woman.
Natasha had practical real-life advice that we started implementing the day that we listened to them.
In a desperate time in my journey with my son, she has been a lifesaver. Her resources have given me hope, they've given me tools and support, and they're some of the best resources you can find out there for anxiety and OCD.